It's 17 tallest women you won't believe actually exist. This 7-foot 8-inch woman was once recognized as the tallest woman in the world before she unfortunately died in 2012 at just 40 years old. Her extreme height was caused by a tumor that sat on her pituitary gland that was first found when she was just 15 years old. The growth was caused by a condition known as acromegaly, which causes too much growth hormone to be released and results in giganticism. Because of her condition, she also suffered from hypertension, heart disease, and osteoporosis. It was never made clear what she died from, but it could have been caused by a number of things. Sandy Allen was the tallest woman in the world during her time, but when she died in 2008, the title was taken from her. However, she holds on to the distinction of being the tallest American woman in history. She was born in 1955. And she appeared in the Guinness Book of World Records starting in 1976 because of her 7 feet 7¼ inches height. Her extreme height was also a result of a tumor in her pituitary gland that released an overflow of growth hormones. She had the tumor removed at the age of 22, and if she hadn't had it removed, then she would have kept growing and suffered from more and more medical dangers. After her death in 2008, there was a scholarship dedicated to her at Shelbyville High School. Małgorzata Dydek, or Margot Dydek in the U.S., was 7 feet and 2 inches tall. She was a famous Polish basketball player who gained international fame for being the tallest professional female basketball player in history. She played center for the Connecticut Sun in the WNBA, and she also coached the Northside Wizards in the Queensland Basketball League. She had 2 sons with her husband, David Twigg, but she died from a heart attack in 2011 when she was pregnant with their 3rd child. This 7-foot 2-inch woman has had a turbulent life, to say the least. She is a Pakistani citizen that had to seek asylum in Great Britain because her height made her a target in her home country. She recalls local children used to throw stones and attack her in the street. She lived there for 2 years before she had to leave because her application for asylum was rejected by the British government. This former basketball player stands at 6 feet 11 inches. She was a Soviet-Latvian basketball player that was most active during the 1970s and 1980s. Although she isn't the tallest professional female basketball player, she does have the biggest shoe size. She wears a men's 21 in the US system and a men's 58 in the European system. While active, she won 15 championships in the Soviet Union, and she also won the European Champions Cup 15 times. In addition to accolades in her home country, she also won gold medals for the USSR in 1976 and 1980 Olympics. She was also made a member of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 1999. This Indian native measures in at 6 feet 11 inches. She is the 6th tallest woman in the world, and she is widely loved in India. She's a former basketball player, and her extreme height runs in the family. Her father was 7 feet 4 inches, and he was also a basketball player. At 6 feet 9 inches, Caroline Wells is the tallest woman in her native Germany. There isn't much known about her because she keeps reasonably private about her life, but there is no doubting that the German people love her. Measuring in at 6 feet 10 inches, Duang Di was the tallest woman in Thailand and the 2nd tallest woman in Asia. Unfortunately, she died in August of 2016 at just 24 years old. The cause of her death was a heart attack, but she had suffered from poor health all her life. She was plagued with high blood pressure, heart disease, and a brain tumor that was diagnosed when she was 9 years old. This U.S. resident measures in at 6 feet 8 inches, and she's originally from Zimbabwe. She enjoys playing basketball, and she's even on a team, but she doesn't play professionally. This Louisiana native was 7 feet and 7½ inches. Her parents were of pretty average height, with her father measuring at 5'9" and her mother coming in at 5'11". She joined the circus when she was 19 years old, where her height was often mistakenly reported as 8 feet 2 inches. She died at 24 in 1971 when they tried to remove a tumor sitting on top of her pituitary gland, but there were complications with the surgery. Sun Fang is the tallest woman in China at the moment and probably in the whole world. She stands at 7 feet and 3 inches, and she took the title from Yang Defen after Defen's death in 2012. She is frequently mistaken for the dead tall woman because of their similar appearance. She was born in 1987, and she's still very much alive today. Alicia J. is a game operations manager for the Golden State Warriors, and she is also a style blogger. She measures in at 6 feet 6 inches, and she has been dubbed the world's tallest virgin. The 35-year-old says she's waiting for marriage, and dating has been difficult because of her extreme height. She says that she went through a lot of bullying when she was younger because of her height, but she has since grown to love it. The style blog that she runs is specifically for tall women. Now, the woman on the right may not actually be real, but you'll be surprised to know that the woman on the left is. Heather Green is a Las Vegas resident that stands at about 6 feet 5 inches and 7 feet 2 inches in her favorite pair of heels. She has been about the same height since she was 15 years old. She is considered to be one of the tallest women in the world, and she is reasonably well known throughout the U.S. She weighs about 210 pounds, and she also wears a 13 men's size shoe, which begs the question where she got those shoes. Were they specially made, or were they originally made for men? This Indian woman measures in at 7 feet 2 inches. She is married, and her husband is just 6 feet 6 inches. Her child is abnormally tall, just like his mother. At just 3 years old, her son measures in at over 5 feet tall already. She said in an interview that he eats 20 times a day, and when he was born, he was already 2 feet 2 inches. His father hopes that he'll become a basketball player so that he can study at a college in the U.S. And Svetlana wants her son to be the tallest man in the world someday. She works as a doctor of holistic medicine and went to college where she met her husband. This Turkish teen holds the title of one of the tallest women in the world. She is also the tallest teenager in the world. Doctors think that Gelgi was born with a rare conditional disorder that causes rapid growth throughout life, called Weaver syndrome. She measures in at 7 feet tall, and gaining the record was a huge honor in her opinion. She said that only special people gain these records, and that she is excited to be one of them. Getting the record was one of her dreams. She luckily isn't expected to get any taller because she already needs a walker to get around thanks to her balance problems caused by her height. She maintains that she has made the best of her height and that it makes her feel special. This 18-year-old Brazilian model measures in at 6 feet and 9 inches tall. She gained attention for her height when she was just 14 years old. Her boyfriend of 3 years proposed to her recently, and despite the height difference, they are happy and engaged. Her fiancé actually measures in at 5 feet 4 inches, but they are very much in love, and Sylvia is already anxious to start having children. She is afraid that she won't be able to conceive because of the tumor that she had over her pituitary gland that caused her extreme height. She is willing to adopt, though, if the pregnancy doesn't work out.
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe for new videos every day.
This insanely tall Chinese woman has been the tallest woman ever recorded in medical history. There are only 17 people who have reached heights of more than 8 feet, and Zheng is the only woman on that list. At the time of her death in 1982, she measured in at almost 8 feet 2 inches. She died when she was only 17, probably thanks to the complications caused by her extreme height. She had trouble standing to her full height since she had severely deformed spine because of her height. This makes accurate accounts of her height difficult, but 8 feet 1 3/4 inches is the most accepted estimate.